Rejection is often misunderstood. When something doesn't go the way we hoped, a relationship ends, a job slips through our fingers, or an opportunity vanishes, we're quick to take it personally. We feel like we're not good enough, smart enough, attractive enough, or talented enough. The pain of rejection runs deep because it hits where we're most vulnerable, our self-worth. But what if rejection wasn't meant to break you? What if it was life's way of saving you? Rejection is not the end of the road. It's a detour. It's the universe stepping in and saying, you don't belong there. Because sometimes we want things that are not meant for us. We chase after people who don't respect our value. We pray for positions that would drain our energy, compromise our values, or limit our growth. We beg to stay in rooms where our spirit is shrinking just to be accepted. And when we get rejected, we see it as loss. But in truth, it's a hidden form of protection. There are things you didn't get that you should thank life for. That person who left you, maybe their presence would have crushed your peace of mind over time. That company that didn't hire you, maybe it would have buried your creativity under pressure, routine, or toxicity. That friend who ghosted you, maybe they were never meant to carry your vision into the future. But you wouldn't have seen it if they stayed. You would have tolerated the bare minimum. You would have accepted breadcrumbs. You would have stayed small just to keep them. But rejection came and gave you the gift of clarity, the gift of escape. Think about it. How many times has a no turned into a blessing in disguise? How many times have you looked back and said, thank God that didn't work out? That's what happens when you start to shift your perspective. You realize that life isn't trying to destroy you, it's trying to direct you. Every door that closes is protecting you from walking into a version of life that would have dimmed your light. You may not see it in the moment. It hurts, it confuses, it shakes you. But give it time, let the dust settle. Then you'll understand why it had to happen the way it did. Pain becomes a compass. Every rejection is a redirection towards something more aligned, more empowering, more authentic to who you truly are. Sometimes the door doesn't open because you weren't meant to walk. You were meant to fly. And you don't learn to fly inside comfort zones. You learn when the nest breaks. You learn when the people you counted on turn away. You learn when everything familiar disappears and all you have left is trust. So if you've been rejected recently, don't sink into shame. Rise into awareness. You weren't being punished, you were being protected. Life is not removing people or plans to hurt you. It's creating space for something bigger, something better, something built for who you're becoming. Let rejection do its work. Let it redirect you into your purpose, because what you lost was never meant to hold what you're about to gain. Sometimes the door doesn't just close, it slams in your face. The call doesn't come, the person walks away, the opportunity vanishes, and you're left wondering why. You replay it in your head over and over, searching for what you did wrong. But maybe the truth is you did nothing wrong at all. Maybe you were exactly where you were supposed to be, and things didn't fall apart, they were falling into place. Because redirection always carries a higher purpose. Life doesn't make mistakes. The universe doesn't randomly throw obstacles in your path. What looks like confusion is often precision from a higher perspective. You didn't lose that opportunity by accident. That relationship didn't fall apart for no reason. That dream didn't stall because you're not worthy. You were being guided carefully, intentionally, towards something far greater than you could see. And because you couldn't see it yet, it felt like rejection. But it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. It was a shift in trajectory designed to align you with something bigger than your limited vision. Sometimes we get so attached to our own plans that we can't imagine a better path. We set goals, build routines, attach to people, and assume we've figured out the way forward. But growth doesn't live in the predictable. Transformation doesn't happen when everything goes according to plan. It happens when your plans are shattered and you're forced to rebuild. That's when your purpose gets revealed. That's when you're no longer operating from ego, fear, or expectation, but from trust, surrender, and awareness. Redirection can be uncomfortable. It strips away your comfort zone. It asks you to let go of what's familiar, but it also invites you into expansion, into elevation, into a version of life you never imagined because you were too focused on surviving to think about thriving. The universe removes what you're clinging to, not to hurt you, but to help you evolve. It knows when you're settling. It knows when your spirit is shrinking in a place you've outgrown. So it intervenes, it shifts things, it closes doors, and even when you resist, even when you cry and scream and fight to hold on, it keeps guiding you, silently, persistently, toward what you truly need. And here's the truth, you rarely see the purpose of redirection while it's happening. In the moment, it looks like loss. It feels like chaos. It hurts. But give it time. With enough distance, you'll see the pattern. You'll connect the dots. You'll look back and realize, if that hadn't fallen apart, I wouldn't have ended up here. And here, this new chapter, this new strength, this new sense of self, is better than what you thought you wanted. So the next time life closes a door, don't panic. Don't collapse into despair. Pause. Breathe. Trust. You're not being abandoned. You're being aligned. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Redirection is never random. It is sacred, purposeful, and always in service of your highest good. In a world that glorifies instant results, delay often feels like failure. When your plans stall, when doors don't open, when progress slows down, the first thought that comes to mind is, maybe it's just not meant for me. But that's where most people get it wrong. Delay is not denial. Delay is development. It's preparation. It's a sacred pause between who you are and who you need to become in order to hold the life you've been praying for. We often ask for things our current self can't handle. We dream of success, love, impact, abundance, and those desires are real, powerful, and valid. But sometimes, before those things can arrive, we must grow into the version of ourselves that can sustain them. That means patience. That means waiting while nothing makes sense. That means trusting the process when the progress isn't visible. A delay is not the universe saying no. It's saying not yet. Not because you don't deserve it, but because something within you is still being molded, strengthened, sharpened. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it, nurture it, and wait. But you can't see anything happening on the surface for a while. Underground, though, everything is changing. Roots are forming, stability is being created. If you dig it up too soon out of impatience, you kill the very thing you were trying to grow. Life works the same way. Just because you don't see the results doesn't mean the foundation isn't being built. That delay you're experiencing could be saving you from success that would have crushed you had it come too early. Sometimes the delay is building your character. It's teaching you discipline, humility, emotional intelligence. It's removing the wrong people. It's aligning the right timing. You think you're just waiting, but you're actually evolving. And when the time is right, when you've passed the silent tests and the inner work is done, that yes will come. Not a small, partial yes, but a powerful, undeniable one. The kind of yes that fits so perfectly, you'll understand why everything before it had to fall apart. You don't want what you're asking for if it comes before you're ready. You don't want a relationship before you know how to love yourself. You don't want leadership before you've learned to lead yourself. You don't want abundance before you've learned how to manage scarcity. So when you're met with delays, instead of asking, why isn't it happening? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because every pause holds a purpose, even when you don't see it yet. The truth is, the universe doesn't operate on your schedule. It operates on alignment, timing, readiness. And the delay you're facing may feel like rejection, but in reality, it's redirection with refinement. Your job is to stay faithful in the waiting, to grow, reflect, and prepare. Because that no you're experiencing right now might just be a disguised yes. A yes that's on its way, bigger than you imagined, and perfectly timed for the person you're becoming. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers, yet it's the one we try hardest to avoid. When rejection hits, it cuts deep. It leaves you wondering what you lacked, what you did wrong, and why things couldn't go the way you hoped. The emotional sting isn't just about what you lost, it's about what it reveals. Because pain isn't random. It's not just there to make you suffer, it's there to point you toward something. Pain is a compass, guiding you to the very place you need to grow. When something hurts, it brings awareness to a part of you that needs attention. Maybe it's your sense of self-worth. Maybe it's your patience. Maybe it's your dependency on other people's approval. That sharp ache you feel when someone walks away or when something doesn't go as planned, that's not just heartbreak. That's insight. It's your soul lighting up a signal flare saying, there's work to be done here. Reflect the emotional space in terms of functioning as thirdly. So what ends up happening is, pain shows you your weak spots, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. If rejection brings up insecurity, that's a sign you need to rebuild your confidence from within. If failure fills you with self-doubt, that's a sign you've attached your worth to performance, not presence. If heartbreak causes you to collapse, maybe you were outsourcing your happiness to someone who was never meant to carry it. Pain doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to awaken you, to peel back the layers and reveal the truth about what needs to change, heal, or evolve. The hardest part of emotional pain is that it feels so personal, but in truth, it's universal. Everyone feels it. The difference between people who grow and people who stay stuck is how they respond to it. Some avoid it and stay trapped in cycles of repeating the same lessons. Others face it head-on and come out the other side wiser, stronger, and more aligned. When you treat pain like a message instead of a punishment, everything changes. It becomes fuel for transformation. It's often the most painful moments in your life that lead to the most powerful breakthroughs. That betrayal, it taught you boundaries. That failure, it taught you resilience. That loss, it taught you presence and gratitude. Nothing is wasted. Every scar tells a story, and every story contains wisdom, if you're willing to listen. So the next time pain shows up, don't shut it down, sit with it. Ask it what it's trying to teach you. Let it reveal the areas within you that are calling for healing. Let it lead you to the version of yourself you've been avoiding, the one that's stronger, freer, and more grounded. Because pain, when faced with courage, becomes transformation. And rejection, when seen through the right lens, becomes redirection. Let the pain guide you, not into darkness, but into light. Let it be the compass that points you back to yourself. When things go wrong, when people leave, when dreams break down, the first thought we often have is, why is this happening to me? It feels personal, it feels cruel, it feels like punishment. But that's the illusion, the surface level understanding of life's deeper work. The truth is, you are not being punished, you are being guided. Life isn't here to break you, it's here to shape you. And sometimes the shaping hurts before it heals. We tend to associate struggle with failure. We think if something is difficult, it must mean we're off track. But often the exact opposite is true. The challenge is not a sign you're going the wrong way. It's a sign that something greater is being formed within you. You're being refined, not rejected. You're being taught how to let go of control, how to trust timing, how to move with faith rather than fear. These are lessons that don't come through ease, they come through uncertainty. There are moments in life that make no sense at all. Doors close that you were certain would open. People disappear who once promised forever. Paths that seemed clear suddenly go dark. And in those moments it's easy to spiral, it's easy to feel abandoned or cursed. But zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Sometimes what you think is a loss is actually a redirection toward your real purpose. Sometimes what feels like chaos is life rearranging things for your highest good, in ways you can't yet comprehend. Guidance often comes disguised as difficulty. The universe whispers in discomfort. It removes what you're clinging to so you can discover who you are without it. It strips away your false sense of security to show you your real strength. It interrupts your plans not to hurt you but to protect you from smaller versions of yourself. What you see as punishment is actually preparation. You're not being kept from something, you're being led towards something better. But that process requires trust. Not the passive kind that only works when things are easy, real trust. The kind that remains even when everything looks like it's falling apart. The kind that says, I don't understand this yet, but I believe it's leading me somewhere important. That kind of faith changes how you move through hard times. It quiets the panic. It grounds your heart. It allows you to breathe in the middle of storms, knowing that storms don't come to stay, they come to clear the way. You weren't forgotten, you weren't overlooked. You're being guided by something far more intelligent, far more loving than your limited perspective can grasp. Life is working for you, even when it feels like it's working against you. Let go of the idea that things are supposed to be smooth all the time. Growth is messy, purpose is forged in discomfort, transformation is born in uncertainty. So when life challenges you, don't ask why me, ask what is this trying to show me, and trust that even when it makes no sense, you are exactly where you're meant to be. We all have a plan, a vision, a timeline. We map out our lives in our heads, who will become, where we'll go, what we'll achieve, and by when. And when things don't go according to that plan, we panic. We feel lost, frustrated, even betrayed by life itself. But here's the truth. Your plan is not the final word. Your purpose is. And your purpose is always bigger, deeper, and more expensive than anything you could have scripted for yourself. Sometimes what you want is small compared to what you're truly meant for. You may be aiming for stability while the universe is preparing you for transformation. You may be seeking comfort while life is trying to push you into growth. You may want a title, a position, or a relationship, but the universe wants to give you a mission, an impact, a legacy. The problem is, we often mistake delay or disruption as failure. We think if our plan falls apart, our life is off track, but in reality, it's just the beginning of a bigger unfolding. One we didn't see coming. Plans are made from logic. Purpose comes from intuition. Plans are based on what you know. Purpose is based on what you're yet to discover. Your plan is often shaped by fear, by what feels safe, familiar, or approved by others. But your purpose requires courage. It demands that you step into the unknown, that you let go of control, and that you follow the whispers of your soul, even when they lead away from your original path. There's nothing wrong with having goals or being ambitious. But if your identity is tied too tightly to how things should go, you'll miss the beauty of how they could go. Sometimes you don't get what you want because it would limit you. Sometimes the universe says no, because you're aiming too low. That door you wanted to walk through may have led you to a small room, and you were meant to soar, meant to speak, meant to create, meant to impact lives in a way your plan never accounted for. Look back at your life. How many things didn't go according to plan, and yet led to something better? How many times did disappointment end up being divine redirection? That's not coincidence, that's alignment. That's your purpose stretching beyond your comfort zone and calling you into something far more meaningful than what you settled for. So, when your plans don't work out, pause, but don't panic. Life is not punishing you. It's protecting what's destined for you. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the rigid version of success you once clung to. Instead, open yourself to something bigger, something wider than your own understanding. Because what the universe has for you doesn't fit inside your plan. It breaks it open and rebuilds it into something limitless. Something that serves not just your ego, but your soul. You were never truly rejected. You were redirected, guided, and prepared. Every closed door, every heartbreak, every delay was not the universe turning its back on you, but rather turning you towards something greater. What felt like loss was actually liberation. What felt like punishment was protection. And what felt like the end was only a sacred beginning. You see, life isn't random. It's intentional. And while your plans may have been built on what you thought you wanted, your purpose is rooted in what you truly need and who you're meant to become. The rejection wasn't to break you. It was to break open the shell that was keeping your power hidden. The redirection wasn't to confuse you. It was to align you with what's been waiting for you all along. So stop seeing every no as a failure and start seeing it as a message. A message that says you are being prepared, you are being positioned, you are being shaped for something greater than you imagine. You are not off track, you're just on a higher path. Trust the delays, embrace the pain, release the plans. Because what's coming is not only meant for you, it's beyond anything you ever planned for yourself. The universe didn't reject you, it chose you for something more. Ask ChatGPT.